Hey guys, I'm Kim and welcome to your full body restorative class. We are out in nature today, and what better place to restore ourselves than to receive some energy up through the ground and into our bodies. So you'll need no props for today's class. So get on your mat or get outside and we'll begin. Our first pose today is going to be bound ankle pose. So we're going to actually come down onto our backs and just allow our knees to go wide with the soles of our feet together. If this causes a lot of tension in your groin area, just take your fists and place them right underneath your hips, and that'll take a little bit of pressure off. If you feel okay here and you don't feel like there's too much pulling or tugging, just allow your arms to lie long beside you. Pinch your shoulder blades together a little bit and just breathe. Start to feel every muscle in your body just relax. Restorative yoga is all about releasing every muscle to allow it to restore. So if you feel like you would best do that with your feet a little bit further away from your pelvis, do so. We will be here for 5 full glorious minutes. start to become more aware of your breath, the rise and the fall of your chest, and slowly bring those knees back together. Press them down into the mat and just lift your pelvis and wiggle it around just a little bit. The next pose we're going to be moving into is waterfall. And we're going to stay in this pose for 3 minutes. So just ever so slowly extend your legs to the sky. You can leave your arms down alongside you, or if you like, just place your hands underneath your hip bones, just giving a little bit more support. If holding your legs up for this long gets to be a little bit too much, just simply bring them into your chest and let them rest wherever it feels comfortable. Should be a slight bend in your knee, and just breathe. And then slowly bending in those knees and bringing them into your chest. And just hugging them in gently. Taking 3 breaths here. And then bringing your feet down to the mat and rolling over to your favorite side. And slowly pressing yourself up to a seated position. We're going to come into deer pose next. So the way that I like to get into this is kind of sit on my left hip with my knees stacked, and then take my top leg, keeping it bent, and just allowing it to come so that that left foot is planting right on the top of the thigh. Come up, inhale, exhale, and rotate so that you are facing that left knee the same direction. And then with your hands reaching forward, just slowly fold over. Your goal is not to keep that right hip down on the ground. It's just to keep the feet in the right position. Start to become aware again of your breath. Release the hands down to the ground and slowly press yourself up. Stack your knees and then switch over so that you're sitting on your right hip and your knees are stacked. Bring that left leg back so that the right sole of the foot is sitting on top of the left thigh. Inhale. Pivot so that you're facing the same way as that right knee. And then exhale as you fold over. Now your fold over doesn't have to be as low as mine. Remember that you're just looking to release muscles. That left hip is not going to be sitting on the mat. Release the tension in your thighs and in your pelvis. Start to become aware of your breath. Planting the hands on the ground and slowly coming up to seated. Our final pose tonight before Savasana will be child's pose. And I invite you to play around with your child's pose here and find one that you really find restorative. So a few of your options include just the regular good old child's pose. So your knees are together, you're leaning forward, your hands reach for the front of the mat as your hips reach backwards. You drop your head to the mat and find your child's pose here. In this position, you could also bring the hands around to the back and reach towards your feet and stay here in this position. For a lot of us, especially women, we find the knees together to be quite uncomfortable. So I invite you to kiss the big toes together and bring the knees wide, and then slowly walk your hands forward as your hips plant on or towards your feet. Your arms can reach forward here. You have another variation as well as wrapping around your legs, like in the original. You can reach them through your knees and towards your feet. So when you do this, just be aware of any tension that your neck is feeling. It might feel better to move your head from side to side during your child's pose. Myself personally, I really like taking a wide-legged child's pose and just allowing my forehead to rest on my palms. So that's the version that I'm going to take. And we'll stay here for 10 full minutes. Really feel all of those muscles in your pelvis and your thighs, your biceps and your shoulders just release. Allow your torso to sink. Allow your chest to reach towards that mat. This is a super secure, a super grounding asana. And it's so beautifully done out in the wilderness. Start to become aware of your breath. Bring your hands to the mat and slowly press yourself up to a seated position. Just allow your legs to go long in front of you. Perhaps just bending the knees slightly to get some blood flow back into those feet. And our final position, of course, is Savasana. So we're going to lie ourselves down on our mats and take whatever position feels good for you. I like to keep my feet wide and allow my knees to knock in together. Or your legs can be long on your mat. We're going to be here for 7 minutes. Just feel your entire backside body connect with the ground. See if you can picture little roots or tentacles that connect you with the earth, that ground you and secure you. Feel safe and protected as you take a big breath in and find your Savasana. tell me when.
One.
Begin to become aware of your breath, the rise and the fall of your chest. Making some micro movements with your fingers and your toes, moving up to your wrists and your ankles. Reaching your arms up overhead as you take a big breath in. And exhaling, bringing them back down alongside you. Slowly rolling over to your right side. Allowing your head to rest on your lower arm, your knees to stack. Enjoying a few final moments here. And then slowly pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. We'll inhale as our arms rise. And exhale, stopping at our third eye for our intellect and our intuition. Traveling down to your throat chakra for only sweet, kind words to flow over your tongue. And finally, down to your heart chakra for the self-love that you showed yourself for showing up today and the kindness that you show others. I thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.